Hello, this is Larry with Rapidset Meta Buildings, and we're going to be going over anchor bolt layout for this garage shop building that's 40 by 60. It has two framed openings, a 12 by 12 here and a 12 by 12 here. Um, so let's get started. I want to explain how we call out the walls. It's very important. It's left end wall, front side wall, right end wall, and then back side wall. And those will be real important when we lay out the anchor bolts. So let's go on to page 1 of your plan. And this is basically the floor plan, and you can see the rigid frames come across here, and you'll have an end wall, a left end wall, and a front side wall, right end wall, and a back side wall. So let's start with the corner here and kind of get a good view of the anchor bolt plan here. And these each are patterns, so you have pattern D and B and A and E. So let's start with A. And if we were to go to the detail of the anchor bolts and then dial into pattern A, you could see that this here is the edge of your concrete, and it's without a notch because you'd add 1.5 inches if you had a notch. But this is the end wall, and this is the side wall because of SW and EW. And then also you could see that because they don't whatever corner of the building your pattern is in, it'll say rotate. And in this case, you will actually rotate 180 degrees because you're coming up the end wall to the center of your pattern here, and you're coming the end wall down the end wall this way to the center of your pattern. You got 1 foot 4 inches to the center, and then you go obviously 2 inches and 2 inches over to set your first bolt, and then 4, and then 4, and set your template accordingly. But real importantly, this is the edge of your concrete, and the edge of your concrete, and this is the side wall and the end wall. So where you come up here, you'd come up your end wall 1 foot 4 inches to the center of your pattern, and then 2 inches up your side, obviously off the end wall. But I just want you to know which way to pull your tape. So let's go to E, the E pattern on the anchor bolt details. And E pattern looks a little funny because it doesn't have the steel profile in there. And going back to your 3D, it's because this cable right here anchors to that base plate as opposed to anchoring into the steel column. So it's real important that that base plate be set in the right place so that the cable planes out correctly when your building is done. So remember EW and SW. So let's go down the EW line 1 foot. So you'd actually go EW would be this wall here, and you'd come up 1 foot to the center of the pattern. So you'd come up in EW. So in reality, your plan is out here a little bit because they don't come to scale on your floor plan. And the reason is because your cable, it'd be good if your cable missed the girts that are running in your wall right here and runs in front of it. So your pattern would actually be out here. So you'd come 1 foot up on your end wall, and taking your side wall, which is actually rotated 1 foot 4 inches up your side wall. So you'd come 1 foot 4 inches up your side wall this way, and then 2 more inches to your first bolt. So you'd go 1 foot 6 inches, concentrating on just the bolts, to the first bolt. So your side wall, you'd come 1 foot 6 inches to your first bolt, and then your pattern would be out here. It looks like 4 inches apart because you got 2 inch, 2 inch, and then you have 4 inches between your pattern. I hope that makes sense, but just pay attention to the EW and SW and in relation to how it rotates from the corner. So you'd go, remember this is SW, and then you have EW. And let's go to another pattern here. Let's go to pattern B, because B is relatively easy. And it's right here. And for B, 3/4 bolts, which are typical, although you want to make sure that what they are. You come from where it is relative to the plan to the center, and then you got 2 inches and 2 inches to set your first bolt and then your template. And in this case, you'd have 1 foot 4 inches and then 10 foot 8 inches to the center of B, and then you got 4 inches or 2 and 2 offset to the corner. So let's try that again. So you'd have the 1 foot 4 and 10/8. Add those together, and that's where the relative center of the plan is, or the pattern is. And it looks like it's only 2 inches off the edge of your concrete, which would be your end wall, and then 2 inches up and 2 inches over to your first bolt, and then you lay out your pattern accordingly. Okay, let's go to pattern D. In this pattern D is actually the start of your framed opening, your 12-foot framed opening. So you'd have the D on this side and D on this side, but they're 180 degrees opposed. And you can see that the 12 or the opening starts at the face of your C. So coming back here to pattern D, and you can see that this is a C plan, but it's your 12-inch framed or 12-foot framed opening to the face of your C right here. And this could be on the end wall or the side wall, but wherever you have framed openings. So you'd actually have it on, like we're looking at it on the right side from the face of the concrete, and then you flip it 180 degrees for the other C over here. And from the 12-foot face, you'd measure 12 foot from the start of your opening right here, and then 1 1/4 inches to the first bolt set back from your framed opening face, and then 2 inches up from the edge of the concrete. So this right here is the edge of the concrete. And to go back to the pattern, so you do your 12-foot framed opening to the face of your C, 12-foot framed opening to the face of your C, and then the 1 1/4 inches back, and then 2 inches off from the edge of your concrete. So to come back to the 3D, so we covered the corner column, we covered this column here, we covered the start of your C channel here, and the end of your C channel here, and the base plate for your cable. So you just follow the pattern around the building and set your templates according to the assembly manual we give you, and you should be good to go. And this is Larry with Rapidset Metal Buildings, and thanks. See you next time.